Time for some more Thriller Recs. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Zach with Zacks Books, and today I've got Thriller Recommendations Part 6. I have done 5 of these already. If you have not seen them, check them out. Typically what I like doing with this is I kind of do a mixture of older ones that I've read with newer ones that I've read. This one, I feel like it's a bit more, it's actually kind of more even split than I think it is. I'm just so used to the 3 or 4 that I've just currently read. We'll link these down below if you're intrigued with any of them. I think there are 6 of them. So if you're intrigued with any of these 6, we will link them down below. Don't forget to check them out. Also down there is Danielle's channel, the Patreon, help support the channel. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into the books. Alright, first book up is The Last One by Will Dean. I'm going to try and make sure the glare does not happen, but if it happens, it happens. This book we're following a woman named Kaz who goes on a cruise ship called the Atlantica, and she's with her partner Pete, and pretty much she's had a troubled past when she was younger. Her dad was like a bad gambler. Early on, it's kind of revealed that way because like Pete wants to go to like the gambling room, and she's like, no, I'm never setting foot in there because my dad was, and this and that. Whatever. I gave this book 5 stars because I really did enjoy it. Pretty much what ends up happening is they go to sleep one night, like the first night on the cruise ship. They wake up, and Pete's gone, and Kaz is believed to be the only one on the boat. She has no idea what happened. Nothing, like, she's clueless. Not a clue in the world as to what happened, but the whole boat's gone. Captain, the crew, like everything. A little bit later on, she stumbles across 3 other people who are also left on the boat. An older gentleman, a younger guy, and then a younger girl. I believe she's 18 or 16. I don't remember. But what ends up happening is it's like a survival story on the boat. Like, how are these 4 going to survive? Early-ish on, there's kind of a big twist that happens. So, talking about this book going forward is kind of hard because, like, that plot twist is, like, a big factor into the rest of the book. So, I guess I might just leave this book off at that point. But, lots of twists, lots of turns, as they say. The ending I actually thought was reminiscent of, well, no, because that'd be a spoiler too. I can't say that. Yeah, I guess I have to stop talking about the book because everything else I want to say is just going to spoil everything. I really did enjoy it though, so I don't know. If you want to know spoilers, I guess just DM me on my Instagram and we can talk about this book if you would like that, or if you want to hear a spoiler part of this book, or like hear me talk about this book with spoilers, let me know in the comments down below and I can try and make a video or something like that. But it's a very good book and I did enjoy it. Like I said, ending was really cool and exciting. So there you have The Last One by Will Dean. Alright, next up was one that I read a little while ago, but it was a very good book, and that is The Chain by Adrian McKinty. I actually thought that we had done this in one of the previous 5, but Danielle went over the list of ones I've done, and she said it was not on there. So I immediately was like, okay, well, let's put it on the list. So this book, we're following a mom whose name is Rachel, and pretty much the premise of this book is a kid gets kidnapped. So Rachel's daughter gets kidnapped. And that's not a spoiler, it happens like, pretty sure like chapter 1. And what ends up happening is they get a phone call being instructed that they need to kidnap somebody else's kid and continue the chain until eventually your kid is allowed to be set free from the previous person who captured somebody. So it's a very interesting concept. There's kind of 2 stories in this because like 2/3 of the way in, something happens and then it becomes this different kind of story. At least that's the thought I had with it, and I think Danielle did too. But obviously I can't spoil anything, so I'm not going to say what happens. But it kind of transitions like 2/3 of the way through the book, the last quarter of the book maybe. Goes from this thing to a different thing, and I ultimately like the first part better than the second part. But ultimately, I gave this 5 stars. I enjoyed the hell out of this book. I actually read the other Adrian McKinty book, The Island, I think. And that actually might have been on one of these previous videos. And I think I gave that one 5 stars. So Adrian McKinty has been a pretty good author for me so far. I don't know if there's anything else I've read by him, but if there is, then I don't remember them. So maybe those weren't as good. But this book, phenomenal story. I really did like it. And like I said, the premise is just like, you got to kidnap a kid to get your kid back, potentially, because other things might need to happen. I don't know. It's a really cool concept, though. So there you have The Chain by Adrian McKinty. All right, next up is All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers. So this is another one I actually thought was in a previous one, but it is not. This book I gave 5 stars. I really did enjoy this book. It's been about a year or two now since I have read this one, and here's what I can tell you about this book. We're following this woman named Margot who moves back to, what was the town name? It's really weird. Wakarusa, Indiana. Probably botching that name. And she's like a reporter, a detective, something along those lines. And a disappearance happens that is strikingly similar to one that took place when she was a little girl in that town with one of her friends named January. And the best way how I can really put into perspective what this book is it's kind of like the JonBenet Ramsey case. January disappears. It's not pageants. What does she do? Like a dancer, like a ballet dancer or something like that? It's very similar to what JonBenet Ramsey did. She was like a pageant person, and this person's a dancer, or vice versa, whatever it was. Basically, it's JonBenet Ramsey. That's how I kind of depict this little girl who goes missing. The mother and father are sketchy. The little brother is sketchy, or the older brother is sketchy. JonBenet Ramsey. And basically how I went into this was basically think of it as that case, but Ashley Flowers puts her opinion as to who did it. Like, this is what happened. And so Margot moves back to live with her uncle. He's a little bit older and can't really do much. And so that's one reason why she moved back. And she's following the one case that she's on now, and it's similar to the old one, and she's trying to think, okay, this is probably the same case. She keeps getting told, no, stop thinking that. It's not. That was however many years ago. Well, no, it's the same. No, stop. If you try and tie this together, we're kicking you off. All this stuff happens. Like I said, the best way how I can describe how this book feels is literally the JonBenet Ramsey case. That's the best way how I could really put this into perspective. So if you're passionate about that case and want to hear somebody's opinion as to who might have done it, this book is for you. Otherwise, if you just like thriller books, this book is also just for you. So just be a plus if you know about the JonBenet Ramsey stuff. So there you have All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers. All right, next up is Drowning by T.J. Newman. So I have read one book by this person, because I believe it's the only other book that she has out, and that's Falling. Another book about a plane. The only difference is this one's underwater. Yay! So in this book, we're following a gentleman named Will Kent and his daughter, Shannon, I think her name was. Shannon. So basically what happens is people go on a plane engine blows up, plane go into water, survival story. Will Kent is an engineer, and he's basically like, no, we need to stay on the plane, wait for rescue to come, and everyone else is like, F that, we need to get off the plane and go, and they're like, he's like, I mean, if you want to, but I guarantee you're probably going to die. Eventually the plane sinks all the way down, and there is no real way to get out. His wife, I can't remember what her name is basically on the up, out of the water in land, trying to figure out a way to help rescue. Whether it's sending down a little sub, pulling them up, sending down a team of people to go down there and get them. All the odds are against them getting out and surviving, and all these things happen, and it's basically just like a survival story, only with a plane, and it's underwater. So, a very exciting book. Gave this one 5 stars, and I don't know, I like it. I mean, she's 2 for 2 for me, so what's the next one going to be? The Planes in Space? So there you have Drowning by T.J. Newman. Next up is The Fury by Alex Michaelides. So this is one that I also have read recently, and this is the 3rd Alex Michaelides book that I have read. I'm pretty sure I gave this 5 stars, though. I really do remember this book being... Okay, so this is how Danielle pitched this book to me. She said it was kind of like everyone in my family has killed someone. Where there's a narrator kind of talking about the book, talking about the story, what's going on, butts in every now and again to talk about stuff. Where everyone in my family has killed someone did not work for me. This one worked for me because the narrator, Elliot, I think his name was, Elliot, didn't butt in nearly as much as the guy in the other book. So I gave this one, I'm pretty sure it's 5 stars. Most of these are 5, otherwise I really wouldn't be recommending them to you. So there you have it. Elliot loves this girl named Lana. Lana ends up like falling for this other guy. The marriage is not the best. And Elliot, like, what can I say that won't spoil this book? So they go to this island, and what ends up happening is they want to, it's hard to talk about this book because there's like plot twists throughout the whole thing. Elliot basically wants to be with Lana, and so he'll pretty much want to try and do anything and everything he can to make sure that that happens. So one drunk night, they end up like coming up with some plan to like make it seem like, oh yeah, you know, I'm gonna, like, your husband's gonna die, and then I'm gonna like take his spot, or like something. It's like a drunk night, and they're like, you know, kind of fooling around, but like Elliot kind of takes it seriously. So like, and Lana is I think is a stage actress. I don't know if it's stage or if it's like an actual like actress. I think she was an actress. Ex-movie star. So he just wants to be with her, is ultimately what it is, and kind of takes a lot of things too far. So I ultimately gave this 5 stars, like I said. I really did enjoy this, and I don't know. It was a very exciting story, and the ending was really twisty. Alright, so there you have The Fury by Alex Michaelides. Next up is Later by Stephen King. So this one, out of the hard case crime books, this one's definitely my favorite. I believe I gave this one 5 stars. Again, otherwise it would not be in this video. This book, we're following a kid named Jamie Conklin, who has this ability to, basically kind of like the Sixth Sense. He can see dead people. And pretty much what ends up happening is the mom is like a struggling woman. She's a struggling mom. She has love interest with a cop, and she like is kind of like an evil woman. So I didn't really like the love interest in this. She was kind of a bitch. But Jamie is like this weird kid. He's got this power, like I said, he can like see dead people, just like in The Sixth Sense. And something happens in this book that is just so like iconic, and I just again, it's one of those things that's kind of like a plot twist that I can't really talk about because it's like a callback to a King book, and it's really, really cool. But eventually this like one of these creatures like emerges that Jamie can see, and he's like latched himself onto Jamie, and like he meets up with this professor, and there's only like one way to get rid of it, and that way is the plot twist that I cannot say, and it's really irritating because I really want to. But yeah, no, so he's basically getting tormented by this like creature that only like he can really see, and like I said, he can see dead people, and so when a crime happens, they like call in like Jamie to like check it out and stuff like that. And I really did like this one better than the Colorado Kid by a mile. Joyland. It was one of my favorite. When did this come out? It was 2020, 2021, and I really loved it. I honestly thought this was going to be a top 10 King book. It's kind of fallen down a little bit, but it's still a really good story, and now I'm like kind of convincing myself to try and reread it. But yeah, no, very good book, and it's not your typical like horror novel. It's a thriller. That's why it's in this one. So there you have Later by Stephen King. Alright, so there you have thriller recommendations number 6. Pretty sure it's 6. And yeah, again, those 6 will be linked down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to go down and look at the Patreon, Danielle's channel. If you have read any of these, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you are intrigued with any of them, again, we'll link them down below. What are some thriller recommendations that you would have? If there's ones I've read, maybe they'll end up in Thriller Recommendations Part 7. You never know. And yeah, we'll see. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next video. Later.